I'm also starting the Facebook Live, okay?
Maybe we can wait for 2 minutes because attendees are still coming in.
Okay.
We're just waiting a few minutes as people come in, as attendees come in. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We'll be starting in just a minute. We're just going to start broadcasting to Facebook. We'll just wait for that to start. Are we broadcasting to Facebook?
Just a minute.
Yes, we're live on Facebook. Okay, great. Thank you. Uh, Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Something in the Air, and the first of two special episodes for Independence Day weekend. Um, Something in the Air is a series of conversations with women who worked in media, who were pioneering women in media and worked in its early years in different kinds of spaces. Episode 1 was a conversation with Salma Sultan and Manju Singh, both iconic women in their way who worked on Doordarshan. Salma Sultan, of course, is a newscaster, Manju Singh as a producer. And episode 2 was with two women from radio, uh, Rita Mukherjee, who was one of the founding producers of Yuva Vani, and Sukhjinder Singh. And today's episode is a little bit different, very special in its own way. A little bit about Something in the Air. It's imagined as a kind of inauguration of a conversation. There are 6 episodes only in this season, but we hope that there will be more seasons, more conversations, and actually this entire area of oral histories of women who worked in media would become something that others would take up and work on, because we don't see it simply as being a history of women inside the media, but rather we see it as a history of media told through the work and the experiences of women. We see it as a kind of history of the lives of women in India, different kinds of women. We see it as an intersectional history because, as you'll see in tomorrow's episode, there will be people who work with community videos. So it also raises a lot of different types of questions about what is mass media, whom does it reach, how are its claims to nation building undercut by the fact that many voices sometimes get marginalized. And when we talk about also the ideas that get marginalized, one of the things that we know All India Radio and Doordarshan both struggled with is the idea of entertainment. There was a phase in which there was no Hindi film music on the radio, for example. So we would be looking at many of these issues, but because even the preliminary research that we've done for these episodes has shown that there is a rich history, and there's a rich history in all parts of the country. We hope that there will be many more episodes done by many other people. This particular set of episodes has been co-curated by Shikha Jingan and myself, Paromita Vora. Before we begin the episode and I introduce the speakers, I just want to thank some people. First of all, the Goethe Institute, who supported this series. I want to also, of course, thank Devasmita Das, who has designed the posters, uh, Edgar Fernandez, who is managing the webinar, Nandini Sharma, who has helped with research and coordination, uh, Tenzing, who edited the trailer that some of you might have seen on social media, and Samina Mishra, Subhashri Krishnan, and Deepika Sharma, our colleagues at IWRT, who have supported our work and helped us in every which way, and especially Samina and Subhashri, who are also office bearers, who are amazing colleagues and people to do things together with. Uh, I also just want to say on a personal note that there is something amazing about coming together with many other women and doing this kind of thing together for no reason except to celebrate the work that people have done. So it's kind of awesome. So thank you everybody who is here to listen today. As the series itself suggests, the name of the series, Something in the Air, culture changes society in many different ways, and sometimes just by a suggestion, just by the very presence of a voice or a face on television, a voice on the radio or face on television of a woman, which gives you the feeling that I too could have a different kind of life than the one society is telling me to have, or that the history of media can be told through the lives of women, so on and so forth. So sometimes it's not always a matter of saying it in words. Sometimes it's important also that something is in the air. Today's episode is going to look at something that many of us grew up with, Vividh Bharati. Um, I'm sure that everybody will have their own favorite memory of some announcement from Vividh Bharati. Like for me, it is "Aap sun rahe hain karyakram Bela ke phool." And I used to always wonder who is the person who is saying these things. We know now, of course, that the announcers on radio received many love letters, of course, farmaishi karyakrams. So the plays Jhumri Talaya became nationally famous because of All India Radio and especially because of Vividh Bharti. The idea of a farmaishi program, which was a relationship between audience and radio of love, all of these things have been part of Vividh Bharti. The two people that we are going to speak with today both have worked in different places in Vividh Bharti. Renu Bansal began her journey in radio journalism with Yuva Vani in the mid-1970s at AIR Bhopal and later at the Indore station. After moving to Bombay, she became a prominent radio announcer at Vividh Bharati in the 1980s. In a career spanning over 26 years, she has mesmerized radio listeners with her iconic voice and simple style in shows like Bhule Bisre Geet, Chhaya Geet, Sakhi Saheli, Pitara, and the famous Jaimala. Her journey with Vividh Bharati is marked by several changes in production formats, from pre-recorded programs to live shows and finally digital recording. And in that sense, the histories that we have been able to get in Something in the Air are also histories of technology and how people have learned to use technology in different ways. Our second speaker, Jyothsna Ilyas, is a former radio announcer, voice artist, actor, writer, and producer whose tryst with AIR spans almost 4 decades. A versatile AIR presentation announcer, she has years of experience in presenting the Akashvani Sangeet Sammelan from Hyderabad's primary channel. For the popular Telugu supernatural TV series called Anveshita, she won Andhra Pradesh State Film Development Corporation Award for Best Screenplay in 1997. The session will be moderated by Shikha Jingan, who is the co-curator of the series. Shikha is an associate professor of cinema studies at Jawaharlal Nehru University. Her research work focuses on voice, music, and sound in cinema. Shikha is a founding member of Media Storm, an independent women's filmmaking collective formed in Delhi in 1986. So she is actually a pioneering woman in the media herself. Some of her documentary films include Health Matters, Living Through Performance, and Born to Sing. She has also co-directed The Power of the Image, a 12-part documentary series on Bombay cinema. So over to Shikha for what I know will be an exciting evening. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Paramita. And I really want to welcome everyone who's joined us today for this webinar. And we have two very special women broadcasters, as Paramita has already announced. I just wanted to add that, as Paramita also mentioned, but I would like to say that Vividh Bharati was started by AIR in 1957 because it wanted to woo back its audiences from radio Ceylon, and it had to provide a very entertaining, very diverse kind of content to the listeners. And I think when I look back, or and many of us will agree, that Vividh Bharati gave a certain rhythm to our lives. We could have that little brush with music, with poetry, with romance, with drama. There was also this mystique about the radio announcers. There was always, one always thought of, oh, how do they look, because one heard them every day. And also I have my own memories of listening to Vividh Bharati, especially this program in the morning called Sangeet Sarita. And this was at 7:30, which is the time when I had to get ready, go to school, catch my school bus. And, it was a program where every day a rag would be announced. And I was not so much interested in the rag, but I was really interested in what film song would be played after that to identify that this is the song based on this particular rag. And I always wanted to know that before I left for school. And of course, there was this program in the evening, Hawa Mahal, which was a drama production. So we all have our own little khazanas of memories as far as Vividh Bharati is concerned. And I'm going to now move to our guests. I'm going to move to our guest speakers today. And I'm going to begin with Renuji. Renuji, tell us a little bit about your journey with radio. How did it all begin?
I was doing my college in Bhopal, and a person I knew, he invited me for Yuva Vani. So I went. I had no idea about media at all. I was very interested in listening to film music, but no, I had no idea about media at all. So I went, and somebody helped me with a script, somebody helped me with the recording and all. And first program was Aapki Farmaish, means program of your choice, 4 songs and 4 commentaries. So senior announcer helped me, and this is how it started. Slowly, I became a compare in Yuva Vani. After presenting this program, I became a presenter. And then I moved to become casual announcer in Vividh Bharati. And that Vividh Bharati was CBS, Commercial Broadcasting Service. And slowly I started liking. And then my attention moved from studies to media. And this is how I became. My father got transferred to Indore. I started doing Yuva Vani there also. And then in 83, we came to Bombay. When we came to Bombay, I had no idea what to do. So I did my B.Ed from here. And while doing B.Ed, I was introduced to AIR Bombay. That time it was AIR Bombay. So I went there and became casual announcer. And slowly that started. And then in 86, there was a vacancy at AIR Bombay. So I appeared, but I didn't get selected. So in 88, again, there was a vacancy for Vividh Bharati, and I was selected for that. And so I became, 24th March, I remember, I became a regular announcer there.
I wanted to ask you, how was Vividh Bharati different from Yuva Vani?
Yuva Vani was like, we were youth, we used to have a lot of masti, compares 1 hour program, not exactly 1 hour, 55 minutes program. And we were given certain schedule. This is to be done. The artist and filmy songs were selected by us. And then we used to compare the program for 1 hour, sometimes alone and sometimes with a partner. And it used to be real masti, some music, some gupshup, some discussion, like that. Mm-hmm. And when I came to Vividh Bharati was totally a recording center at that time. All programs were recorded and they were sent to 39 stations 1 month in advance in the form of spools. And at that time, there were Nippon machines, and then came the Meltron machines. Those Nippon Japanese machines were so fast, and if you had to rewind or forward those tapes, it used to be a task, because commercial broadcasting had started, and we used to get many commercials between 2 songs. So you had to cue those songs, and you had to take care that as soon as the song is over, there should not be a gap or a pause. You had to be so swift. And after the song, cue the commercial again. So this is how it started, but it was very interesting, very challenging and interesting both.
See, one of the things about Vividh Bharati is that it was also a service in which there was a lot of interaction with the listeners. Through letters, so tell us about that. How did, what was it like getting those postcards, getting those mails?
Oh, it was very interesting. There was a separate section of जिसको बोलते हैं ना पत्र छांटना. There was a separate section and a separate staff for that. We used to get bags of letters every day from the post office, and the post office was in our building only. So we used to get the bags, and there was staff, 2, 3, 4 members, those who used to segregate the letters, separate the letters for different programs. There were Patravali, then Chhaya Geet, Manoranjan, Aapki Farmaish, and Chhaya Geet, Patravali, Vandanvar. So all these letters were segregated and they were given to the person concerned, those who used to schedule the programs. And suppose for Chhaya Geet, A, B, C, D, all alphabetically, there were sections. In those sections, those postcards were put. And suppose I have to select letter for Bahari Phir Bhi Aayingi, so I would look for in B section for this song. And one thing is very interested, like Paromita said, ki Jhumri Talaiya. That was a name that attracted me a lot, and I just wanted to know कि झुमरी तलैया कोई जगह है भी या ऐसी जगह है, because वो बैन किया था झुमरी तलैया से फरमाइश एक जमाने में विविध भारती से. तो जब मैं विविध भारती में आई तो मैंने किसी से पूछा कि ये झुमरी तलैया नाम की जगह है या नहीं है. उसने बोला हाँ हाँ है, बिहार में है. मैंने कहा डू यू नो एनी लिस्टर ओवर देयर? उसने बोला हाँ. मैंने कहा प्लीज गेट मी अ जेन्युइन लेटर फ्रॉम हिम, बिकॉज मेरी तमन्ना पूरी हो जाएगी जब मैं झुमरी तलैया अनाउंस करूंगी.
And also the way the announcements were done, they were like the names of places were very detailed, you know, like they would be the gully or the mohalla of the place from where the letters were coming. And sometimes we used to wonder how the announcers are announcing so many names, because the names of each family also, many names, you know, had to be announced, and the place and very detailed, you know, Bali Mara, or you know, this gully or that mohalla in that city. It was very, very detailed. And I used to always wonder how for one song so many people are, you know, asking for this song, and they all probably have a different association with that song. Somebody may like it for the voice, somebody may like it for the lyrics, or somebody may like it for the uski jo mausiki hai ya jo tune hai uske liye. So there were all these wonderful you know, connections one thought of when one was listening to these names that were being announced.
One reason for writing the details was because there are so many names of Ashok. Say Ashok Sharma. So Ashok Sharma from Delhi, there may be so many Ashok Sharmas. So one particular place, suppose Shadra se Ashok Sharma, gully number so and so, house number so and so.
Had to be that detailed, yeah.
Yes.
And listeners wanted that detail because they wanted to be identified in that way, right?
Yes, yes.
So I'm going to ask you now, Jyothsna ji, what was your journey like? How did you start at Hyderabad radio station?
I joined All India Radio in 1972. They started commercial broadcasting service in All India Radio Hyderabad in 1971. They had recruitments, and about 12 of us were selected in that batch. And 72, 1st February, I joined. I had a lot of passion for radio, for being a radio voice, because my mother, Amma, she was a first radio drama voice in South India, and she was recruited in 1938, and she worked for 42 years. Initially, she was a drama voice. There was only one vacancy of announcer, and that was given to Mr. Mallampalli Uma Maheshwar Rao. After his retirement, my mother, Amma, became announcer. So from childhood, I have been associated with radio. And as a child artist, I used to go to Balanandam children's program, and I used to participate in dramas. I used to participate in poetry recitation. And later on, I was auditioned for general dramas as a child artist in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. And I became a drama voice there. I participated in a couple of plays, that's all. Then we moved to Hyderabad. When there was a vacancy, I applied and I joined. In 1972, I joined in commercial broadcasting service. But
and your mother was a well-known name,
very
right?
well-known, and her name was Bhanumati. And there was this cinema Bhanumati also, leading producer, playwright, and actress, cinema Bhanumati. So there used to be some confusion. Cinema Bhanumati also used to participate in radio dramas. Amma also used to participate in radio dramas. There used to be some confusion. So they started calling Amma Radio Bhanumati. So that became her surname, Radio Bhanumati. Even today, are you Radio Bhanumati's daughter? That's what they ask me. So it became her surname, her address.
Wonderful legacy. So I wanted to ask you about Hyderabad radio. I mean, Hyderabad radio station. I believe it was like a kind of an iconic site in Hyderabad.
Yes, it is opposite assembly, legislative assembly, and 12 of us were recruited all at once, and all of us were about 22, 23 years of age, maybe fresh from college. So it used to be like a college or university for us, because our bosses never stopped us from participating in other programs, and stalwarts had worked there in that All India Radio, all top literary figures, and even our seniors, Ratan Prasad and Satyanarayana and Bhuvneshwari, these are all iconic figures, and they had their own journey and they had made their own mark in the field of broadcasting, and we used to look up to them and they used to guide us, and it was all fun and learning. We never used the same thing like Renuji, we were thrown into a library of film songs, and we used to get listeners' letters. Janaranjani program ke liye itne sare letters aate hain, and there used to be one person to segregate the letters alphabetically and put them in the pigeonholes. And previous day, one announcer would be put on general duty to schedule Janaranjani listeners' request songs for tomorrow, the next day. So this person would go to the radio station, to the pigeonhole, and pick up the songs, pick up the listeners' requests and put them in the gramophone records and put the letters in them.
And these were Telugu film songs, and you had a section for Hindi films, but you also had Telugu film songs.
Yes. Vividh Bharati was, commercial broadcasting service was relaying AIR Bombay, Bombay Vividh Bharati. We used to get tapes, Chhaya Geet, Manoranjan, Lok Sangeet, all these tapes we used to play. But we did have our local variation in the form of Anjali, Bhakti Geet, and Janaranjani. And in place of Hawa Mahal, we used to play. But in addition to that, we used to have our own production called Hasya Vallari, humorous skits in 15 minutes duration. So some Telugu variation was there. Those Telugu chunks we used to announce in Telugu. The other things we used to play the tapes. And for including commercial broadcast spots, the same thing we had, those Nippon recorders and queuing the spot within 45 seconds and keeping the next song ready. And it was.
But Hyderabad station was also an attraction for tourists.
Yeah, because people used to,
tell us about that.
N.T. Ramarao and Nageshwar Rao, leading heroes of those years, they were staying in Bhagyanagar, Hyderabad. So people who go to Tirupati from Andhra, interior Andhra, many people go to Tirupati for Balaji Darshan. From there, they come to Hyderabad to see Nageshwar Rao and Ramarao. It so happens that Nageshwar Rao is on the right of radio station. N.T. Ramarao lives to the left side of the radio station. So they used to go to Banjara Hills, meet Mr. Nageshwar Rao. He used to give darshan, sign autographs. From there, the buses, tourist buses, used to come to All India Radio, stop midway, and they used to ask the watchman, who is on duty? So-and-so hai kya? Can we talk to them? Can we see them? Then those security people used to call the duty room. Those duty room people, if there are two announcers, they could send one. Sometimes there is only one announcer, in which case we cannot leave the announcer booth. But we used to come like that and meet all those people. They wanted to click photographs with us. They would ask us to sign autographs. And some fellow used to take a 10 rupee note. Madam, I don't have paper. Please sign on it. From here, from
you were stars.
Go to N.T. Ramarao, Ramakrishna Studios. They used to meet Ramarao and then go. And also Birla Mandir, which is just behind, which is just behind All India Radio.
So Renuji, I wanted to come back to you and I wanted to ask you about your voice. because I was watching some YouTube recording of yours, and I saw the comments, and he said, Renu Bansal ki आवाज की खनक अभी भी मुझे याद है. So there were all these. This is only one of the comments. There were other comments also about your voice, and I wanted to ask you about that. That how did you develop this kind of a voice? Was it right from the beginning that you had were you aware that you had a good voice when you were not on radio? What was that process like?
As I said, I had no idea about media at all. And voice to forget. This is a God gift. And God must have thought कि she wanted to become a doctor. So backup के तौर पे मुझको आवाज अच्छी दे दी. My brother told me once, we were in Indore and he had gone to Delhi. So on phone he told me कि तुम्हारी आवाज बहुत अच्छी है. So I didn't pay any attention. What is he saying? उनका भाई है तो बहन की तारीफ करेगा ही. So after that time I was very young and the voice was also very shrill, and now if I listen to my old program, I say, oh God, कैसी पतली सी आवाज है मेरी. So बीच में करत की विद्या होती है. As you practice makes a man perfect वाली बात कि बोलते बोलते अपने आप आवाज सध जाती है.
Did you have any role models, like when you joined radio, when you joined Vividh Bharti? What was of course you went through training and you were told about pronunciation and all those things, but was there anything else that went into it? Were you really following somebody's style?
Actually, training, there was no training as such. And as I started Yuva Vani, then moved to being casual announcer, the training happened automatically, observing people and learning from people. भोपाल में तो लोग डांट भी देते थे, वहां की उर्दू बहुत अच्छी होती थी तो वो डांट भी देते थे, तुमने ये चीज गलत बोली. So this is how we learned.
And if you used an English word in between, like by mistake, what was the code? You had to, because it was a Hindi service.
Yes, in the beginning, of course, we were not allowed to use any English word, and we had to look for Hindi words. But जैसे जैसे change आया, थोड़े liberal हुए, थोड़ा media, FM वगैरह आने लगे, और DJs जब आने लगे तो विविध भारती को भी लगा कि हमें अपना जो स्टाइल है थोड़ा सा लिबरल हो करना चाहिए, तो हम लोगों को इजाजत हो गई. पहले तो नाम भी नहीं लेते थे. Only recording, formal announcement. No names were announced. Only in Chhaya Geet we were supposed to, and we were allowed to take names. That's it. But अभी तो आप ले सकते हैं नाम अपना कितनी भी बार. कई बार तो 1 घंटे के प्रोग्राम में 2 तो 3 बार भी नाम ले लेते.
So earlier you were not allowed to announce your own name.
Yes.
And
if I'm
recording,
yes. If I'm recording, there was no need also for announcing the name. Like suppose I'm announcing Bhule Bisre Geet, where's the need to take the name? लोग आवाज से पहचान जाते हैं कि आज ये इसकी आवाज है.
So I think we are going to listen to your voice now. We're going to play the clip, and let's listen to your voice. We need the audio.
We're having some technical issues. Could you continue? We'll just resolve it. So sorry.
Sorry. So Renuji, we will play the clip again. There is some technical issue we are having. But I wanted to ask you that you said that you had later when you started with Chhaya Geet, you could announce your voice. Earlier, your voice, you were not allowed to identify yourself. So tell us a little bit about the kind of listeners' letters that you were getting through Vividh Bharati programs. Apart from the fact that there was farmaish, you were also getting a lot of letters from the listeners in Patravali, where it was about whether it was about programming or whether it was sometimes criticism, and also I think you had some very interesting experiences with letters. So if you could share something like that with us about the kind of letters that you were getting.
Yes. Apart from request programs, we used to get letters for Patravali, where we used to discuss the likes and dislikes of programs. And sometimes they would request you to repeat certain programs. We liked these programs, so it may be repeated. So these type. And sometimes personal letters also. We like your voice, we like your presentation, and that program was very good. So this is all happens. So sometimes they would beautifully decorate the letters, and sometimes they were supposed to send only. We would appreciate if they sent only postcards, but sometimes and so on a letter also, and they would keep something inside like a 10 rupee note or a 5 rupee note, or during festivals like Diwali, a small silver coin they would keep to wish us. And sometimes they would criticize also कि हमने इतनी फरमाइश भेजी, आपने हमारा नाम नहीं लिया, why you don't include our letters. So these type of programs.
And they were sometimes very beautifully written, and there was a lot of poetry, and some of the letters were also very. I mean, you were saying that.
Yes. So they would write their feelings in form of poetry, in form of shero shairi, and one artist is Shashikant Dhotre from Solapur, Maharashtra. He's a very good painter and acclaimed artist. So ladies would request him to paint and write for them, and he used to send that letters in Sakhi Saheli, and we would very happily include them because it used to be very, very beautiful.
And sometimes what happened, like if you had you had an announcement to do, you had a program to do, you had a bad voice that day, you had a little bit of were there any problems that you faced like that?
Yes, in the beginning, when the programs were recorded, and if you have sore throat or you are not feeling well, then you were kept off mic for 2, 3, 4 days. You were asked to rest and do some other programs, not face the mic. But later, when live programs started, and suppose we have some problem, cough or sore throat, so we would continue with that. And once it happens, I was presenting Chhaya Geet with Mr. Kamal Sharma, and I coughed. I was trying to stop it, but I couldn't, and then I coughed. So Kamalji said कि मौसम खराब है तो कोई बात नहीं, आप खांस लीजिए, लोग समझ जाएंगे, हमारे श्रोता बहुत प्यारे हैं, वो समझ जाएंगे कि आपकी तबीयत आज ठीक नहीं है. So one lady, she was a teacher in Vadodara. After a few days, a security personnel told me कि आपसे कोई मिलने आई है. So this lady, now I don't remember her name. Maybe I'll remember after some time. She came with some medicines, Ayurvedic medicines, and lemon pickle and some jeera goli. ये आप खाएंगी तो आपकी तबीयत खराब नहीं होगी, आपका गला भी कभी खराब नहीं होगा. So nice of them. I was so emotional कि लोग दूर बैठ के कैसे समझ जाते हैं, और आवाज का जो जादू है वो आपको बहुत असर करता है। जैसे हम कहते हैं कि पोइट्री लिखो या शेरो शायरी लिखो, सीधा आंखों से दिल में उतरती है, इसी तरह से आवाज सीधी कानों से दिल पे असर करती है।
Sometimes the letters would also be very sentimental, talking about their own despair, the kind of situations that the listeners were going through.
कभी कभी जैसे हम लोग डिफरेंट कंपेयरिंग करते थे डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट्स पर, तो जैसे मान लीजिए कि कोई दुखी है और हमने कोई कंपेयरिंग की कि तकलीफें तो जो है वो आती जाती रहती हैं, जैसे बादल हमेशा नहीं रह सकते, सूरज की रोशनी उनको चीरती है और अंधेरे को काट के रोशनी आती है, इसी तरह हमारी जिंदगी है, मुश्किलें आती हैं लेकिन धैर्य अगर हम रखें, थोड़ा सब्र रखें तो मुश्किलें निकल जाती हैं। और आंखों में अगर आंसू हो तो सामने अच्छी तरह नहीं दिखता, अच्छी तरह देखने के लिए हमें अपनी आंखें साफ रखनी पड़ती हैं, इसलिए आंसुओं को साफ कर रखना पड़ता है। तो मान लीजिए कि अगर कोई दूर बैठा इंसान परेशान है तो उसको ये बात जरूर लगती है, और अपनी फीलिंग्स वो लेटर के थ्रू हमें लिखते थे कि आपने उस दिन ऐसा कहा था, उस दिन मैं बहुत तकलीफ में थी या मैं तकलीफ में था, और आपकी बात सुन के मुझे बहुत तसल्ली हुई और बहुत मन को शांति हुई। तो इसी तरह से सखी सहेली एक दिन हम प्रेजेंट कर रहे थे कांचन जी के साथ, वो हमारी प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूटिव थी, तो उन्होंने मुझे नहीं बताया और मेरे सामने एक चिट्ठी पढ़ी, और वो चिट्ठी इतनी इमोशनल थी, उसमें मेरी आवाज की तारीफ थी और मेरी प्रेजेंटेशन की तारीफ थी कि आप जो बोलती हैं ऐसा लगता है कि बिल्कुल सच बोल रही हैं, कोई बनावट नहीं है आपके बोलने में, तो आपकी जो बातें हैं वो सीधी कानों से दिल को असर करती हैं और सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है। तो सुनते सुनते मैंने उन्हें इशारा भी किया कि ये सब इमोशनल चीजें आप मत पढ़िए, क्योंकि जब उन्होंने चिट्ठी खत्म की तो मेरी आंखों में आंसू थे, और जो पहले एक या दो सेंटेंस बोले वो थोड़ी सी आवाज रूंधी हुई भी थी। तो ऐसा होता रहता है। तो पहले जब रिकॉर्डिंग होती थी तो हमको अपने इमोशंस को कंट्रोल करना पड़ता था, लेकिन बाद में जब थोड़े से लिबरल हो गए तो अगर थोड़े इमोशनल हो जाते थे, हंस दें या थोड़ा सा आवाज रुक जाए तो कोई इतनी प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती थी।
Jyothsna ji, I wanted to ask you because you were, like she's talking about emotions, you were a very well-known drama artist, you were doing radio plays. Tell us a little bit about the kind of dramas that you were doing, presenting or performing. What was the process?
Actually, an announcer is not required to participate in dramas. Announcer has to do the transmission duties and finish. But people who are interested are allowed to take part in dramas. And from childhood, I have been participating in radio dramas. As a child artist, I participated in children's program, and then later on, I was trained by the then announcer, the senior most first radio announcer in Telugu. He used to grill me. You are only controlling your voice. There is no emotion. Come on, weep. This is a very sad scene. You have to weep. Come on. I don't find any tears. You have to cry, cry, cry. Like that. He used to train me when I was a child artist. Then that training gave me a lot of support. And I've seen my mom Amma performing in dramas. I've heard radio dramas. So I used to play the lead, sometimes supporting lead in serials. And by convention, an announcer is graded a B grade artist. But if you're interested, you can upgrade yourself by appearing for audition. And I appeared for audition and I became a B high grade artist. And I have participated in a number of serial plays and 1 hour plays and playlets and documentaries, many of them.
Who were there were major literary figures. Some of them were women writers whose plays you performed.
Yes, Ranganaikamma, Muppala Ranganaikamma, a novelist, and she wrote a very beautiful novel. Not a big story, it's a small story, small novel, but the characterization. There are only 3 main characters in that. That is the hero, the Buchi Babu, he's called. Vimla is the heroine, and Madhu is Vimla's brother. This Vimla's brother and Buchi Babu are friends. Buchi Babu keeps visiting Vimla's house, and this girl falls in love with him. And he's a Buddhu, something like, if I can say it, he's something like Amol Palekar.
Okay.
Very innocent and not expressive. He doesn't know to express his emotions, and he is very shy type and slightly introvertish. So she tries her level best to find out whether he loves her, he likes her or not. Finally, she finds out that he also likes her, and they get married through the brother. After marriage, she does not get the demonstration of love she expected from him. So she wants to teach him a lesson. She writes a suicide note. I'm committing suicide, or I'm leaving the house and going
But this
away.
was serialized. It was serialized.
It was serialized for 5 weeks, 20 minutes each.
Was it very popular?
It was very popular, Sweet Home. The novel itself is very, very popular. Novel itself, there is no special popularity we have added by making it a radio play, I should honestly confess. Because the novel itself was a very popular novel.
So, Jyothsna, did you also get, I mean, no, please continue. You were saying something.
No, that's what. Yeah, we did it for 5 weeks, and it was a super duper hit because the novel itself was very familiar to the listener. So they could easily connect. Even if they missed one part, they could come back to it because they know the story. It is only characterization that is important in this particular play, not the story. How that fellow shies away, and this girl, she appears dominating and all that. But she's very, very affectionate. He is also equally affectionate. Then she says, I want divorce from my husband. This Vimla's brother is an advocate. She says, go and get advocate this thing for me. I want divorce from my husband. He is not expressing he doesn't love me as much as I love him. So please go and talk to your friend and get the signature for mutual consent. That's what she says. This fellow is flabbergasted and he goes, what is this? Then he talks to Buchi Babu. I have taken up a new case. This case is divorce. The girl I am representing the wife. So please help me out in settling this. How do I handle this?
So were you getting letters? Were you getting a lot of letters also, like Renuji spoke about the fan letter?
There was a chunk called Parichay Patram. Parichay Patram. In Vividh Bharati, it was Lekhavali. I worked for 6 years. From there, I came to main service. There it was Parichay Patram. It is about all the various programs we broadcast. And every week, we used to read the letters. In those letters, they used to make comments about our performance or our presentation, or during transmission, 1 or 2 comments we make. We talk something extempore, ad-libbing and all that. So if they like it, they used to appreciate. And they used to write poetry. And my name is Jyothsna. If it is written in Telugu, in the proper, perfect manner, it appears like a diya in Telugu script. So they used to write my name, decorate it, put around it the rays of light, and put flowers around it, decorated light. And for Rakhi, they used to send Rakhis in the cover. We used to insist that they should write only postcards for listeners' request, no inland letter, no cover, please. But in spite of many requests, we used to tell them, if you send an inland letter, if you send a postal cover, we are not going to open it. Please send only, your request should reach us only in the form of a postcard. But no, they used to send covers, and we also used to open them to find a Rakhi or something like that. Flowers, our names decorated, colorful papers.
Yeah. I wish we could see those things. It's so fascinating. I wanted to ask you that, Jyothsna ji, you moved from the commercial broadcasting, you moved to primary channel, where
Right.
you were doing very formal kind of presentations for the Radio Sangeet Sammelan. you know, and I mean, it's very interesting that every regional radio station had its own radio Sangeet Sammelans, you know. So tell me a little bit about that. How was it different? How was doing presentation in a commercial broadcasting station different from going to the main channel?
On paper, there is no difference. You have to be formal here also, you have to be formal there also. But in Vividh Bharati, you are dealing mostly with film songs, film music. So when you are announcing film music, you can pep up your voice. When you are reading the listeners' names, you can sound more affectionate towards them. No emotions in primary channel. You deliver the goods and get lost. Finished. This is the announcement. You make the announcement. This is the gist. Apart from that, no extra fittings in our announcements. No smiles and that thing. In Vividh Bharati, we used to do it. Actually, we are not supposed to. But they never used to say anything. Vividh Bharati, film music all the time. Even in main channel, we have some film songs chunk. There we used to play. And when there are two announcers, he announces one song and I announce the other song. Generally, one male voice and one female voice are put on transmission to show the differentiation and for variety. So you announce one song, I announce one song. If you're announcing this song, my song will be an answer for your song, something connecting to your song. Like that, we used to choose and play with film songs, but they were limited chunks. Film song chunks.
There was a dialogue between the two announcers, and there was a very interactive kind of communication.
In mail service, there was a very interesting program, very useful and important program called Morning Information Service. It was called Udaya Tarangini, Morning Waves. So it is a composite program immediately after news with a specific signature tune, which contains two film songs. One day there are doctors' advice. One day there are legal advice. Legal experts come and talk to you, and talk to the listeners, and medical doctors come and give medical advice. Various different programs. We link with film songs. I was very, very interested in that program because directly I can talk to the listener. In making formal announcements, I don't talk to the listener. In this particular program, I have a possibility to address the listener directly and talk to him. So I used to start off with a hello. Hello, ela unnarandi meeru? Coffee tagara? Have you had your coffee? It's already past 7 o'clock. If you're still in bed, how will you go to college? Your mom is looking for you. Go, get up. All these things I used to ad-lib and talk. And I used to get letters. And wives used to write to me, if you don't say hello, my husband never gets up from bed. Only after he listens to your hello from the bedsheet, then he uncovers his face and he gets up. Jyothsna Garu, what happened to you? Were you on leave? What happened? Your hello is so familiar. It's so inviting. It is so comforting and affectionate.
Could you say hello on the primary channel?
I started it. Then one of the directors said, no hello, hello, nothing. Stop it.
Dant pada. You got to school.
Magar uske baad, I used to mila with, it is not a pure hello and with a dramatic pause. Hello, namaskar, Mandi, Bonnara. My hello went away in the sentence before the director could notice.
So you had your own way of dealing with the boss.
No, not always. Not always. Certain bosses were very strict.
Yeah.
And in primary channel, you have to write down all your announcements and take the signature of the program executive one day before. No ad-libbing, nothing. Afterwards, you can't add.
So Renuji, I wanted to ask you this question that, what was it like working in Vividh Bharati? As a woman, I'm sure when you started with the live recordings, you had live programs, you were doing shift systems. Did you get your support from your family? Did you get support from your colleagues in Vividh Bharti?
I would say it was a cakewalk for me because I was pretty trained when I joined as regular announcer. So there was nothing that stopped me, and family support was full. My mother was very progressive thinker and she would encourage to do whatever I wanted. But we were very disciplined also. Not a single day in the first year I didn't take any CL. There would be 12 CL in 1 year and I didn't avail any CL. I didn't want to stay at home. So
Yes.
when they started 5 days a week, we would work 6 days a week. Only Sunday was a weekly off. And for 1 year, it became 5 days working. So I would feel, why? What is the need of working 5? Why can't we work for 6 days? That was in the beginning. But then later, ऐसा होता
What
है
was
ना
the problem?
Yes.
What were the problems?
Problems as such, though, didn't face any problem because I'm a very straightforward person, very to the point, bolne wali and sunne wali. So I had my weight around. I would throw my weight around. Don't talk nonsense. Live and let live.
But otherwise, it was a good environment.
Yes, good environment, and I had no problem at all. And I enjoyed my work thoroughly. As far as my programs and my listeners are concerned, I was very happy, and they were also very happy with me.
So let's listen to your voice now.
Okay.
I think the technology issue has been sorted.
दोस्तों, ऐतिहासिक फिल्म किसे कहते हैं? ऐतिहासिक पात्रों वाली फिल्म या ऐतिहासिक घटनाओं वाली फिल्म? और उस फिल्म को क्या कहेंगे जिसकी कहानी ऐतिहासिक पात्रों को लेकर रची गई किसी घटना पर आधारित हो? बहरहाल, कहिए कुछ भी, कहने से क्या फर्क पड़ता है? अनारकली का नाम इतिहास में कहाँ है, इसकी परवाह किए बिना लोगों ने अनारकली की मोहब्बत और उसकी खातिर की गई सलीम की बगावत को सर आंखों पर बिठाया। इसी तरह उर्दू के अजीम शायर मिर्जा असदुल्ला खां गालिब ने किसी जोगनी से इश्क फरमाया था या नहीं, इसकी तहकीकात इतिहासकारों के हवाले करके फिल्मी दीवानों ने फिल्म मिर्जा गालिब को क्या खूब सराहा।
So one can see this is from Bioscope Ki Baatein, and so much, care and, love has gone into the presentation of this program. But I wanted to ask you, because it is about Mirza Ghalib of 1954 film. And I was just thinking that you joined Vividh Bharti in the second half of 80s. By then, cassettes had come in, VHS had come in, music had changed, a lot of, later remixes were being done, all kinds of changes, technological changes, cinema had also changed. So do you think that there was in Vividh Bharti, because you were connected with listeners, you were getting postcards, do you think that there was a very, there was that desire for older songs, older films, there was a nostalgia for that kind of music? Did you feel that?
Sorry, come again.
Was there a greater nostalgia for or desire ki purani cheezein sune, purane gaane sune?
There were different programs. like Chitralok in the morning and one Chitralok at night at 8 to 8:30 p.m. That included new songs. And all other programs had old songs. Chhaya Geet had a mix of new songs and old songs as per the request. Like Bhule Bisre Geet, totally old songs. Then we used to have one program, Gaane Suhane, and one program in the afternoon, Sadabahar Nagme. So these programs had all favorite and old songs. And 2 or 3 programs had only new songs.
So I wanted to ask you one more question that, in the 90s, there were all these different songs that became very controversial. So was there a code that in Vividh Bharati that there were certain songs that you could not play? There were certain songs or certain films that you could not talk about. Was there any such unsaid or unwritten code?
Yes, we had a screening committee all along since inception. Like if you remember that song, Bol Radha Bol Sangam Hoga Ki Nahi, Ya Main Ka Karu Ram Mujhe Buddha Mil Gaya. We were not allowed to play that song. And little later then Hum or some other songs. So we had a screening committee. That screening committee would sit once a while and screen the songs of new films. And they would write approved and not approved. So we used to get approved songs from the library, and on the CDs, then when CDs started coming, or the records also, they would write this cut of this record is not approved.
So like, for example, a song like Choli Ke Piche and all, you could not.
Yes. And Hum Ka Juma Chuma De De was not allowed. So
there was a screening committee which regularly met and
yes, once I remember Padosan में भी एक गाना था, पड़ोसन फिल्म में भी एक गाना था, वो बाद में थोड़ा not approved हुआ था, पहले तो approved था, तो वो मैंने गलती से बजा दिया. And then I went to my station director and confessed कि वो लिखा नहीं था क्योंकि record पे, और मेरे से बज गया है वो program में. Now you tell me what to do, whether it's okay or we have to stop the tape. So she said, it's okay now. Time has passed, so no problem.
So you had
earlier
to...
earlier like Jyothsna ji said कि जो script होती थी, we had to write and we had to take signature of the program executive, and we were not allowed to change anything after getting...
Not even a word.
Not even a word after getting it signed. And if you had to change something, then go to the producer again and request, I want to change this, and he would approve that and he would sign again.
Okay. Yes. But there were certain programs that you could do your own way. You could do your script.
Like as the technology came in and as the time changed, we also felt the desire to become more communicative with the listeners. Not only in the form of letters, but through phone. And this is how the phone-in program started. Phone in farmaish. So we would record this in twice in a week, and we would make programs twice a week. And this is how Sakhi Saheli also started once a week phone-in program. So they were also demanded that we also wanted our voice to come on radio. So this is how Sakhi Saheli Hello Farmaish started.
Tell me about Sakhi Saheli. There's an interesting interaction. You had two people, two women, thoda nok jhonk, thoda, little shararat, and also interacting with the listener, that kind of program. And what it resulted in for you. I think there's a little story that you had told me.
Yeah. जब से programs शुरू होते थे, जब मतलब फॉर्मल भी प्रोग्राम्स होते थे, तब लेडीज के लिए अपना घर होता था टू एंटरटेन एंड एजुकेट लेडीज सिटिंग एट होम, बिकॉज दैट टाइम लेडीज वर ओनली होम मेकर्स, वेरी फ्यू वर वर्किंग. So they used to be program on Sunday, Apna Ghar from 3 to 3:30. And this is after few years, it became one hour program as Sakhi Saheli. I think that started in 2003 or 2002. And it was interactive program, and we would talk on certain issues. They were all scripted. In the beginning, we would script it, and later it became very tedious to write each and every word. So we would write pointers and we would talk on that. So impromptu talking also came in. Earlier, it was only script, written script. And later, पत्रावली में भी पूरी स्क्रिप्ट लिखनी पड़ती थी, but then जब उनको लगा कि they can do without scripting, so we were allowed to talk. Only letters पढ़ा and जवाब दे दिया.
And obviously they were listening. But tell me about the incident that happened with this little gnome joke that you had and little conversational style about your hair.
So one day my partner was talking कि आज मौसम बहुत अच्छा है बाहर और आपकी जुल्फें और आपकी साड़ी भी बहुत सुंदर लग रही है. So I was like wide open, my eyes were wide open कि me and साड़ी. So वो हंसती रही and उसने फेस पे चुप कराया कि मुझे बोलने दो. तो मेरे मन में ये बात थी कि ये जो बोल रही है कि आपकी साड़ी और आपकी जुल्फें और उसमें फूल लगा हुआ, तो listeners would record this in their minds कि अच्छा ऐसी दिखती होगी, because एक ह्यूमन नेचर होता है कि आवाज से आप पर्सनालिटी डिफाइन करने की कोशिश करते हो कि लुक्स कैसे होंगे. तो बहुत दिनों के बाद एक लिसनर आया, तो मुझे ड्यूटी रूम से बुलाया गया कि लिसनर्स आए हैं सखी सहेली के स्टाफ से मिलने, सखी सहेली की टीम से मिलने के लिए. तो मैं आई, तो मैं स्टूडियो में थी, मैं आई तो उसने मुझे ऊपर से नीचे तक देखा और उसकी फेस पे मुझे बहुत परेशानी नजर आई. ही वाज वेरी स्ट्रेस्ड. मैंने कहा क्या हुआ? नहीं आप तो रेणु बंसल नहीं हो. मैंने कहा क्यों, क्या हुआ? नहीं वो उस दिन आप कह रही थी कि वो लंबे बाल और आपकी साड़ी और वो बालों में फूल, आपके बाल तो छोटे हैं. तो मैं हंसी. मैंने कहा आप जो रेडियो पे हम लोग बोलते हैं उस पे नहीं जाना चाहिए. टू मतलब कन्वर्सेशन स्टार्टिंग के लिए हमें एक माहौल बनाना होता है, तो उस माहौल बनाने के लिए हम ऐसे टॉपिक उठाते हैं. तो उसने ऐसे ही बात शुरू करने के लिए मेरी साड़ी की बात कर दी, क्योंकि सलवार कमीज या पैंट्स तो अलाउड नहीं थे ऑफिस में, तो इसलिए उसने साड़ी की बात कर दी.
So you were not allowed to wear trousers and
in the beginning ऐसा लगता था कि ऑफिस उसमें decorum में not good to wear pants, but later it was allowed, and doing night duties I would wear pants.
So Jyothsna ji, I wanted to come to you and I wanted to ask you that you met your husband on the radio, right? Or at Hyderabad radio station. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we were recruited at the same time. And we were both of us were in commercial broadcasting service. You know, what happens is when announcers are put on duty, they spend about 6 to 7 hours sitting in the announcer booth, playing tapes, talking of various things. It was all like college atmosphere when we joined. All the colleagues, any 2 colleagues sitting in the announcer booth, doing the transmission duties, would continuously be sharing their feelings and thoughts and ideology, everything. The same thing happened here. And later on, we were given, I think in 1974, there was a program called Pula Jallu. Pula Jallu means showers of flowers. It was a breezy conversation between 2 friends, and one male and one female. They used to take up social issues, small issues like smoking, drinking, dowry, all these things. They used to talk in a very casual manner, not as though they are preachers and they are going to give some message to the society to reform. No, nothing like that. It is just a casual conversation between 2 friends. At the end of it, there would be a message. In the conversation, the message also is concealed. So that program became very, very popular. We were called, our stock characters' names were Madhu and Lata. I was Lata and he was Madhu. These two
Husband
names,
Ilyas ji.
Ji. And these two names became household names for many people. And you might think that I'm exaggerating. Some of the listeners, we got a postcard saying that they have named their son Madhu and daughter Lata. And
Very nice.
after 20 years, I go to a multi-speciality hospital here in Hyderabad along with my husband. And as I am filling up the form at the reception counter, I write Jyothsna Ilyas. Are you Madhu Lata of Pulajallu fame? They're asking. The program was stopped after 2 years.
She remembered.
And the reason is my husband started writing short stories after he joined All India Radio. And when we got married, I became Jyothsna Ilyas. And we used to discuss we used to do everything together. Outside radio, any production, any writing, everything together we used to jointly do. We used to discuss and write. And I used to finally correct or something like that. So he used to write the author's name as Ilyas Jyothsna. So this Ilyas Jyothsna became very, very popular as one name. So if I go out even today, they recognize me because of my Doordarshan days or something like that. Mir Ilyas Jyothsna Andi? Are you Ilyas Jyothsna? No, I'm Jyothsna. I'm not Ilyas Jyothsna. I used to say.
Did you have any difficulty? Like it was an interfaith marriage,
Definitely.
Two different religions.
Any interfaith marriage will have certain issues. Both the sides, they try to discourage because ideological reasons may be different. Even for practical living, it becomes very difficult if there is no proper understanding and if there is no unity of thought, unity of action. Unless it is there, it will be very, very difficult for both to adjust. Initially, in that excitement, we would think we want to get married, and later on, anything might happen. This fear will be there on both the sides, either this religion, both the religions. So discouragement will definitely be there, and it was there. But we convinced our people, and this because we became popular by that time as radio voices. There was supporters inside the organization, also opposers inside the organization.
Yes.
Also, we had an extra dimension apart from families about office also.
Office, yeah.
Yeah.
That you overcame it, and it was a romance over radio, where the film songs were played. You know, there's a very well-known film, Barsat Ki Raat, with Bharat Bhushan and Madhubala, and where he's a poet and he sings, and it's actually Hyderabad radio station. There are a lot of scenes where the two of them meet each other. So I was just thinking about that when I thought of your story. But I would like us to listen to your voice now. If we can listen to Jyothsna ji's voice. And we have your husband's photograph also.
అని గోపాలరావు మోచేతులు బల్లపైన ఆంచి ఆ నడుమ శిరస్సు ఉంచి తలపోస్తూ ఉన్నంతలో ముద్దులొలికే కమలిని చేబురాలున ఉత్తరం ఒకటి బల్లమీద కనపడ్డది. పైకి చదివాడు. అయ్యా, ప్రియుడా పోయి అయ్యా కాడికొచ్చిందా? పెయ్య పోయిందా బాబు? మూర్ఖుడా ఊరుకో. అయ్యా, 10 దినములాయే. రాత్రుల నింటికి మీ రాకయే నేనెరుగను. మీటింగులకు పోవుచుంటిమంటిరి. లోకోపకారములగు నుద్యమముల నిదురమాని చేయుచుంటిమంటిరి. మా చెలువ వలన నిజము నేర్చితిని.
So, Jyothsna ji, could you tell us a little bit about this story that you did?
This is Diddu Batu. This is the first short story written in conversational Telugu, semi-classical language they used to use. But this is in the lighter vein. The language has been modified for common man to understand. So this is a story wherein the heroine is teaching a lesson to her husband silently. The husband is a womanizer. He doesn't come home in the nights. He stays away with this pretext and that reason. He doesn't come home. So she wants to silently teach him a lesson. So she writes a letter in a very obedient way. The letter says, I don't want to stand in your way. For the past 10 days, you have not been coming home. I know where you have been going. If I ask you, you keep on telling me this reason and that reason and all are lies. I know. I am making you a liar. My presence here is a hindrance to your freedom. So let me go away from the scene. If I go away leave this place, leave you and go away, then you will have all the freedom in the world to enjoy your life as you want. And then you will not be blamed as a liar. So she writes a letter and leaves it on the table. And this fellow comes home. He finds the letter. He doesn't find his wife. He is perturbed. Then he asks his servant what happened. Then that lady comes. She is hiding beneath the cot. She has not gone anywhere. She is hiding. She just wanted to give him a shock treatment. That is the way she corrected him.
So was this serialized or was this only in one episode?
Just a short story. It is just a short story.
Just a short story. Okay.
Then in another play, I played the Mirza Ghalib's, I played the Sakhi in that. Our director, Gopal Krishna, he did the production. Unfortunately, I don't have a recording. That Sakhi and that play received a lot of appreciation from the listeners.
I hope there are archives available in AIR. I wanted to ask you one question which came to my mind that, you know, in Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, and now, of course, it's Telangana. So the film industry, because you were playing film songs, you were also doing film-based programming of Telugu films. There is a lot of, you know, connection between politics and cinema. You know, so were there ever any kind of issues that cropped up that, okay, you could not play this person's song, this star song, because he's now in the opposition, or you had to play more songs of a particular politician because he's in power? Were there some things like that that ever happened?
You know, so many people from Telugu film industry like N.T. Ramarao, Krishna, Chiranjeevi, I can give you about 15, 20 names. They may not be familiar to all the names, but these people, when there is an election code, according to the election code, when during the time of elections, I cannot play the songs which are portrayed on these people who are contesting that particular election. Apart from
that's a code.
That is a part of election code anywhere in any field, applicable to any field, not only film field. That's it.
But otherwise, I mean, I was interested in knowing if there were other kinds of, you know, negotiations, maneuverings, if you wanted to say something about that.
If there was such an incident, it would not come to the notice of an announcer. All these things, they happen at the top level. These negotiations and understandings and adjustments, they have direct level or DDG level or something like that. They do not
have to handle it.
They implement what the orders. That's it.
Renuji, I wanted to ask you. Sorry, please continue.
It's okay. Announcer booth is the last point where any mistake can be corrected. That any announcer, no announcer should forget this particular statement. There is a scope for correction in the last minute at the announcer booth only. There also, if it is not corrected, it goes on to the air and finished. So that is the crucial point, transmission booth. that any announcer should remember. And we were at that point. By experience, we learned many lessons. Okay, if I can share, I have a small incident to tell you.
Yeah, please do.
One day I was getting ready for morning duty at 5 o'clock. I felt the earth there were some mild tremors. I thought maybe I'm feeling giddy or something like that. Then really the tremors happened. So I had the habit of buying a newspaper and going to the office while going to the morning information service. So to pick up this news and that news to talk about it. So as soon as I went, from the duty room, I called the Geographical Survey of India office, where their tremors felt today in Hyderabad. The assistant director was connected. He said, yes. Are there any more chances of the recurrence? I think yes, once or twice tremors might occur. He said that. So I called my director. I told him, I spoke to the assistant director so-and-so about the tremors. Can I go and tell the listener? And I told the listeners I informed them about the tremors already occurred, and also said there is one or two tremors likely to occur. Please be careful. This you have to take. These are the precautions. And there was a big bomb blast in the meeting because the assistant director denied that he said anything like that to me. She just asked me about the tremors that already occurred. She did not ask me if there were specifically tremors occurring. I said there is a possibility. I also said there is a possibility. I did not say it will definitely occur at so-and-so time, 7:15, the tremor will come. No, I did not say that. It is likely that it will repeat. Please be careful, this. But I was blasted in the meeting. And then the same assistant director was invited for a talk in the evening. He came and he addressed the people and he said, there is a likelihood of tremors coming again. All for nothing, I was blasted. Then I thought, over-enthusiasm should not be there. Over-enthusiasm should be curtailed. I don't have to do it. But I was so excited, that atmosphere.
I'm so glad you've shared that with us.
I am going to inform the people. I have to do it. It is my responsibility. Information. This is my duty. That's what I'm doing. And I've taken the permission, oral permission on the telephonic permission from my director. This I can never forget.
Renuji, I wanted to ask you that, you also, because you were working at and the shift system, different shifts, and there were certain things that happened in the city that, your experiences, whether it was the bomb blasts or, certain incidents that happened. If you could share some of those moments.
So I was doing a night duty one day, that is, I think, 26 November, 26/11, when it happened. So at 10:30, I started Aapki Farmaish program, and my duty officer came and told me that there was a bomb blast at some point at certain place. Then she kept on coming. 2-3 times she came to my studio and she said, abhi yahan bhi ho gaya, abhi yahan bhi ho gaya, abhi yahan bhi ho gaya. 3-4 places she informed. And by 11 o'clock, then we thought there was a bomb blast near Airport Road. So that is the road we take to go home. So she used to live in city and I was in suburbs. So we told her that it's not safe to go home and we'll stay here. We informed our houses we are staying here. It was very safe. And this is how. And in the morning when we went, everything was clear, and all the information, everything was clear. What all places had bomb blasts and how many terrorists were. People were killed and the terrorist was arrested.
So these are some of those experiences you've had. There's one question that has come from the audience, and that question is about how you were dealing with what was your experience with visually impaired listeners.
So in the beginning, we used to have a staff member. His son was visually impaired, and we used to get letters, and we would give him, and he would make his son read and write it for us, the answers, the replies. So this is how we would read their letters. But then he retired, and after that there was no way we could have read the letters. So we stopped including those letters, but we would tell them कि ये आया है और हम नहीं पढ़ सक रहे हैं, हम पास फैसिलिटी नहीं है, तो आप अगर अपने किसी साथी से हिंदी, इंग्लिश या कोई भी लोकल लैंग्वेज में अगर आप चिट्ठी लिख के हमको भेज देंगे तो हम आपकी चिट्ठी इंक्लूड कर लेंगे. So a very interesting incident happened. So one day a security personnel came to me and she said कि आपके लिए गेट पे कोई लड़की वेट कर रही है. And they were not allowed because after this bomb blast, no listener was allowed or no outsider was allowed to enter the premises. So she was standing near the gate and I went and she said कि मैं कब से खड़ी हूँ और कितने दिनों से आपसे मिलना चाह रही थी. और फिर मैं उसका नाम है सावित्री, उसको मैं पकड़ के लाई अंदर and she sat and she was very happy and very emotional to meet us. And their way of recognizing people is very different. They touch you and they have a feel. So जितने भी लोग वहां बैठे थे स्टाफ के, उनको सबको उसने टच कर करके पूछा आपका नाम क्या है, आपका नाम क्या है.
But you were getting phone-ins later. I mean, did that happen from other kinds of ways of communication?
But after that, when this girl and his partner, there were two girls. One is teacher and one is doing research in some language. I don't know. I don't remember. So now they don't write to me, but they keep on phoning and we are in touch.
What about you, Jyothsna ji? You had it?
Yeah, visually impaired people, they have their sense of hearing is very, very sharp. And near my house, there is one area called Nanal Nagar. There is one colony, a hostel, which houses visually impaired students. Those students used to take the bus and come to AIR to meet us. They had not met us before. First time when they came to meet me, I was coming out of the studios, talking in a loud voice to my friend that I'm telling her that I'm going home. Aap Jyothsna ka hai na? I said, yes. But how do you know me? हाँ, आपकी आवाज तो रोज सुनते हैं. We are so fond of your voice, Jyothsna ji, बोल के they started talking. And they are narrating they are recalling all the programs I have done and recalling all the characters I have portrayed. Then they became very close family friends and they started visiting me even after my retirement from Salarjung Nanal Nagar colony. Students, visually impaired students, they used to come and meet us.
I wanted to ask one question, and I think we also time to wind up now. What do you both, if you could talk a little bit about the coming of FM, the coming of new technologies, and what are the programs that you listen to? I know Jyothsna ji, your daughter is also with FM, and But if Renu ji, you could also talk about what is it that you're listening to these days. What do you think about FM?
So now it's 24 hours broadcast. So DTH is also there, and AIR News on Air app is also there. So I have that app, and while sleeping till 1 o'clock, otherwise it used to be our relay from Vividh Bharati. But now, after COVID, it's become from Delhi. So till 10 o'clock, Vividh Bharati, and after Vividh Bharati, all stations are patched to FM Delhi. So till 1 o'clock, the programs are there. Very beautiful old songs, soulful songs. So I listen to those programs. And sometimes in the afternoon, 3 to 4, I listen to Sakhi Saheli.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah. What about you, Jyothsna ji?
These FM programs are much, much different from mainstream, I mean, all India radio programs. I trained a Radio City FM in Hyderabad. I had conducted a 5-day RGF training program for Radio City people. But the pace at which they talk to the listener, I'm not comfortable. And most of it is just ad-libbing, and they keep on talking. It is, sometimes I can even say it is meaningless. There is no point. Just to fill up the space and time, they are talking like that. And utna jaldi baat kare to, utna fast baat kare to, kisi listener ko samajhna bhi mushkil hota hai. It's difficult to understand.
Yeah. There's a question which has come from the audience, one of the attendees. She's asking about the incident, about the earthquake incident that you got blasted.
Yeah.
So she's asking if you were particularly given that kind of scolding because you were a woman.
No, no. There is no gender discrimination in All India Radio.
Mm-hmm.
We all used to move like one family. Even now, we have all become, most of us, our batch members, we are like family members, and we move like one family. We visit each other. Courtesy COVID, all these visitations have been stopped. Otherwise, we visit each other, and there is no gender discrimination in All India Radio. We used to move like two colleagues, two friends, that's all, whether male or female.
What about you, Renu? Do you think there was any gender bias? There was any bias against women?
No, I don't think so. As Jyothsna is saying, we are one family. But in Bombay, we don't go to each other's house because of the distances and the priorities of each and every family or person. So till we were in Bhopal and Indore, we used to visit and meet, and we used to have good time after our duties, but not in Bombay.
There's one more question which has come from for Jyothsna ji. This is for you. Was there any training for the announcers in the use of language for the radio in Andhra Pradesh? Because there are so many local dialects and local styles.
Actually, there is no formal training. During our period, we did not have any formal training. We used to learn from our seniors by observation. And if there was any correction, our bosses would tell us, our seniors also would correct us. But later on, All India Radio introduced Vani training program. So it is a Vani certificate program. So people who want to appear for the audition, they have to undergo the training. It's a 5-day workshop. I used to take classes now and then, and they used to call eminent broadcasters who have retired to come and talk to the people about the language. There is a standard language. You are not supposed to use any particular, if you're a stock character, you are free to use any dialect. For Telangana region, there are programs with Telangana dialect. But otherwise, there is a standard Telugu, spoken Telugu, with all the punctuations and with all the, many people, the youngsters, the current generation people, they are not used to speaking in Telugu. So for Bharat Desham, they say Bharat Desham. Bharata Desham, Bhavi Paurulu, all these things are corrected. And training is conducted by All India Radio in the Vani certificate course.
So they've been very nice, from the attendees, we are getting very nice feedback. People are appreciating both of you, Renu ji and Jyothsna ji, they're saying that the incidents and all the accounts are very, very engaging, very interesting. Some of them are saying, oh, this is nostalgia. Just wanted to share that we are getting very good feedback from our attendees. There's one more question. Was the infrastructure also geared equally to women, like washrooms for women, and any transport provision when working late hours?
Yes. For ladies, for morning duties and night duties, there was pickup and dropping. Lady announcers, they used to give pickup and dropping.
And also washrooms?
Separate. Everything was nice. There was no problem. Once in a way, there used to be some problem, a short period. Otherwise, there is nothing.
Renuji, you wanted to say something about this?
Same, no problem at all. All washrooms, etc., all separate, and we had a room to sit. We would share with our colleagues, and morning pickup and night drop, always.
So I think it's been a wonderful conversation. I've learned a lot. I had all these interesting. I mean, in the sense, I had these questions in my mind, and I just wanted to say one thing that when I was in school, I had a friend, Jyothsna ji, who was Telugu speaking. She was from Andhra Pradesh, and she used to tell me that her mother she used to have a handwritten song booklet of film songs. And she used to send requests to the radio station, and then she would wait for the song to come, and then she would, because people did not have gramophone records, and at that time there were no cassettes as well. So if you really wanted to sing a song, there was one choice was to go and buy those chapbooks that were available, but the other option was to just sit right next to the radio and write down the lyrics and try them out. So when I was doing preparation for this, I was just thinking about those song booklets that I'm sure many women used to keep there. And I remember my own aunts, my two buas, they were very fond of songs, and they would have these diary with film songs which they would
As you're talking, am I interrupting? I am reminded of our senior colleague. There was one lady, Dr. Shamantakamani. She was a senior person, and she had, Friday the pictures are released in the theater, and Friday and Saturday the lyrics of the songs are printed. Those books are available in the theater on Friday and Saturday only. So this lady used to make it a point to go to the theater whenever there is a new release, every Friday, to be frank. And she used to buy the booklet with the lyrics, and she used to bring it. Then we all used to sit, and we used to call it the rescuer, Apad Bandhavi. We used to call it, and we used to make a list of the songs, because supposing I want to present a program on moonlight, I can't be thinking. I refer to the register. As soon as the new song comes into the market, immediately we enter it into our register. It is called Apad Bandhavi. Apad means crisis mein jo kaam aata hai.
So you could use those lyrics.
We used to understand that if I know the lyric, I can pick up and write the suitable commentary. Because in commercial broadcasting service, you are given a half an hour chunk, songs written by one lyricist, or songs composed by one music director, songs sung by one singer, like that. For that, we used to write commentary about the talents of the person involved, or the lyric, some comment. For that, if you have the lyric, instead of sitting at the gramophone record, and the engineers never used to allow us to play the gramophone record when the transmission is not on, the stylus will get eroded. Don't do it.
So this helped you.
So we used to buy books like this, like you were saying.
Renuji, you wanted to say something about these songs?
In my earlier years, even I used to write in a diary. I used to love songs sung by Talat Mahmood, so I would write them. And when I was casual and doing Yuva Vani in Bhopal, there was a librarian. So I used to go to the library and look for old songs. तो वो बोलता था, बातें करती है 21वीं सदी की और गाने सुनती है 13वीं सदी के.
Yeah. So this has been wonderful. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed speaking to you and steering this conversation, and so much has opened up, so many insights, so many threads have opened up. So thank you so much. I'm going to now hand over to Paromita for the closing. Paromita.
Thank you, Shikha ji. All hard work is yours.
No.
Thank you, Shikha. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. You made me relive all those 37 years I worked in All India Radio. Thank you.
Paromita?
Thank you, Shikha. And thank you, Jyothsna ji and Renu ji. It was an amazing session. It was wonderful to hear your stories and all that kind of detail of what working at Vividh Bharati was like. And I know that the people who attended have had a great time as well. You can make out from their comments. We will be putting the session up on YouTube later so other people can watch who were unable to watch today. Before we wrap up, I'd like to remind everybody about tomorrow's episode. If you haven't signed up yet, please sign up. Please share widely the sign up information and the information about the event. The episode will be about community media. It will span the time from the 1980s to the present through the work of 3 women from Video Seva, which was the first community video initiative in India, and a representative from Gurgaon Ki Awaaz, a community radio station that is run out of Gurgaon. And it will be moderated by Chandita Mukherjee, whom many of you know, who has her own illustrious and long career in media for education. And some of you will also, of course, remember her program on Doordarshan about the history of science, Bharat Ki Chhap. It will be a really interesting episode, I think. So please do come and please do bring your friends and spend Saturday evening listening to another set of amazing women talking about their time in media, this time from a very different kind of space. Good night until then, and see you soon.
Thank you
so
thank
much.
you.
Good night.
Bye. Thank you. It was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Paromita. Bye-bye, Jyothsna ji and Renu ji.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.